on the Hallmark Channel. It's called the Motherhood. So in each episode, Britton and her team of experts, they call themselves the Neighbor Ladies, help a single mother with everything from parenting strategies to wardrobe updates. Here is Connie Britton with a mom named Rochelle who struggles, she says, with losing patience with her 2 young sons.
I don't want my babies to fail.
Yeah.
So I'm very hard. I'm sorry. I told you.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's a big one.
I'm very hard on them. Because failure's not an option for them.
Yeah,
It's not.
I hear you. And you know what? That is the epitome of you as a mama, but then it's also trying to find that balance so that they can fail in the ways where they can learn,
Yeah.
but not fail in the ways where it's gonna be
Detrimental
destructive.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are very happy to tell you that Connie Britton is with us today. Connie, bravo, bravo on this show.
Thank you so much.
Because it's one that really tugs at your heartstrings and it shows that we are more alike than we are different.
Yes.
And it really does take a village. You say motherhood is magical, but you also say motherhood is a lot. What
It's
are you
a
trying
lot.
to do here?
Well, I'll tell you, this came from my own personal experience when I became a mom. And I am a single mom, and I quickly realized, I had just moved to Nashville to shoot the show Nashville. So I was there, I had this new baby, didn't know a soul in Nashville. And I quickly realized, oh my gosh, what have I taken on?
Yeah.
And there was no way I could do it without creating a support system and a community around me. And I also realized, listen, I actually have the resources. I can have a nanny at home. But I had a dear friend who was also working on the show. She was working in costumes, had 4 kids, single mom, 18-hour days, and she didn't have the resources that I had.
You were saying you're a mother of means, but
Exactly.
we all have a lot of issues.
One day
regardless.
she called me up and she said, listen, I forgot to give Jed lunch money. And I said, I happened to be off that day. I said, I will swing by the middle school and drop it off at the front office, which is what I did. But that was the moment that sort of spurred this whole idea, which was many years ago. Because I was like, boy, I'm lucky, and there are so many single moms out there who do not what I have, have what I have.
But that experience, that's a good example of kind of the broader concept of the Neighbor Ladies, which is a callback to your youth, right? I mean, you remember it growing up, your mom benefiting.
That was for me. That's why I wanted to call them the Neighbor Ladies, and some people were like, I don't know. And I'm like,
Perfect.
Here's
It's
why.
perfect.
You know why?
Yeah, it is
I
perfect.
grew up. We lived on a cul-de-sac. The Neighbor Ladies would come over every afternoon. They'd have their glass of wine. They would talk about their day. They would talk about raising their kids, what was going on, their problems. They would support each other. They'd lift each other up. That's what I got to watch. We have pulled away from that now.
That's true. Yes, we
Yes.
have.
In the culture.
Yeah.
So that's why this show is so important to
Yeah.
me. It's not just important for single moms. It's not just important for parents, because, by the way, this show is, all parents are going to relate to this show. It's important for all of us, because the entire point of this show is we need to give ourselves permission to create community.
Yep.
We will do better raising our kids.
And ask for help, too.
Yeah.
You're here.
Those neighbor ladies also call your kid out, too, if they
Yes,
need to.
yes.
Stop acting up before I tell your mom.
That's right. There's accountability.
There's accountability there,
Right.
for sure. You said you want to reframe the conversation around single moms.
Yeah.
When watching this, I kept thinking about one word, and that's grace. Grace that we have to give to them, but also grace that single moms have to give to themselves.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. I'm so glad that you got that, because across the board we have 6 episodes of the show. Every single mom that we worked with, there was not one that didn't talk about mom guilt and how it was incredibly difficult to ask for help. And so, just even starting with being able to say, I'm a single mom, but it's okay to ask for help, and it's also okay to take care of myself and value myself. And that's going to benefit my
And
kids.
tell yourself you're doing a good job.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
But
all
by the
need
way,
that
we need to do that in
validation.
the culture, too.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
need that validation.
And admit that no one's an expert, no one really knows what they're doing. We're all doing it for the first time and learning as we go.
Right. We have no idea what we're doing.
I know.
No idea.
I like, Connie, your backstory when you first adopted your baby, because you made the decision to adopt a black baby
Yes.
as a young child.
from
And I'm always fascinated by that. Were you concerned? Were you worried about how that would go and
Like
how
you would be judged?
how you'd
tell
be
you what,
judged and what you're learning?
Never crossed my mind.
Never
Good question,
did.
Gayle.
I actually was doing a documentary about Ethiopian orphans at the time, and spent some time in Ethiopia, and I just was like, I had such a strong connection with the country. And I was like, I know I'm going to want to adopt from here.
Yeah, and now he's a teenager.
And now he's 14.
Yeah.
And the world's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And you basically can't really even adopt from Ethiopia anymore. I feel so fortunate I was able to. But also, it's interesting because, as I said, it didn't cross my mind at that time. The world's a different place now, and now sometimes I'm like...
Now do they talk to you about raising a black teenager, especially a boy?
By the
lot
way,
different.
yeah, it's a lot different. And I have, luckily we have a really wonderful community
Ecosystem, yeah.
and he has, his best friend is a black boy, and like we have a wonderful community. And I get a lot of people, doesn't matter what their race is, saying, you got to have the talk with him.
Yeah.
And then I have to go to my black friends and be like, how do I have this talk? This is not my experience.
They will help you.
I need to be
Connie,
authentic.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Bravo on
awesome work.
Bravo on the Motherhood.
Motherhood
Thank
debuts
you.
Monday.